I'm supposed to like open it, aren't I?
No, I don't think so. It's preparing to live stream this meeting. So I'll let you know. Hang on, it's thinking. We'll be on time.
View this channel.
Mm,
I have my setup today so I can read the comments.
awesome. There we go.
Like open it, aren't I?
No, I don't think so. It's preparing to live stream this meeting. Okay, we should be live. Here we go. And remember, there's a little bit of a delay between the chat and
Right.
yeah. But if you just mute on the, you know what I'm saying? Mute the YouTube. Yay, there's Jeannie. She says hello. Excellent. So Jeannie's joining us and we'll give it a minute for people to pop in. So you'll want to just mute whatever YouTube window you have open so there's not a feedback or an echo.
Yep.
Sherry says hi. Hi. People will pop in and we're going to do, okay. Oh, yay. More people are excellent. More people are logging in. Fantastic. This was really super short notice, so I don't know how well attended it will be, but that's okay. It'll be fun and it'll be,
It will be fun.
you know, recorded. So that's fine. Sue says hi from Colorado. A whole bunch of other people say hi in between. Excellent. Oh, Karen, hi from Switzerland. Hello from BC.
Switzerland, that would be neat to.
Excellent. Michelle says hi from the Netherlands. Hi from Northern California. Bunch of people in between that I don't know where they are. Excellent. So today's live stream, we're just going to visit. We're going to show what we're currently knitting. And then we'll talk about the upcoming Campside Cardi knit along. I'm pretty excited about that because yay, I got my yarn in the mail today, but I have not looked at it. I haven't opened it. I was waiting for you.
Yay.
So we'll give it a minute. It's only 3:01. Kim says, I'm thinking about doing your knit along. Do it. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Vancouver, oh, Minnesota, Vancouver, Pennsylvania, New Mexico, peaceful side of the Smokies. Is there a non-peaceful side of the Smokies? Let's have a retreat in Switzerland. Yeah, that'd be good. Mount Vernon, Ohio. Let's show your beauty. We will. We will. We'll give it a couple minutes and we'll, because some people that are logging in may not know why I'm holding a bag of yarn. So we'll talk about the squishy mail here in a moment because I'm not assuming that everybody that's logging in might have watched the previous episodes. Brittany says hi from Southern California. Where's the Zoom link? No, Siraj, there's not a Zoom link. You're here. This is it. A live stream is the three of us being live and you can chat and watch. So it's not quite the same as a Zoom knit together where everybody talks at once. So Shirley says, what if I can't? Oh, were you about to read that, Jill? Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say Lola B said she came on and she noticed us live and what a surprise. Those are the happiest kind of surprises.
So Shirley, if you can't keep up with the knit along, it's not about pressure or keeping up. It's me doing tutorials. Okay. So this just means I will periodically once a week or every 2 weeks, depending on how fast I am, I'll upload tutorial videos about the technique that's in the pattern. So I'm not going to go through the pattern step by step because, so for example, no one would be able to knit the sweater solely by watching these videos because we want people to actually purchase the pattern and support the designer who's fantastic. So what this means though is Michelle says, whoops, it's 23:03, which is 11:03 in the evening here. What, I guess my bedtime got bumped an hour. So bumped up an hour. So the videos will be to help show certain techniques, like there's some yarn overs and eyelets in this. So one thing I'll be showing is like how to add a yarn over if you accidentally realize you're a row around and whoopsie, you missed it. How to go back and do that without tinking an entire row. Or how to take one out if you put one where there shouldn't have been one. Or whatever comes up. So, but the thing about it is, if you you don't need to be too worried about keeping up because the videos will be there for you indefinitely. The group support will be there for you indefinitely. The Ravelry thread will exist indefinitely. So as long as my channel is there, it will be there on the Campside Cardi playlist. So let me introduce my friends, Jill and Lindsay. Yay.
Hello.
Podcast
Hi.
partners from Illinois.
Yes. Did you see Crafty Gemini said that she got her shipping notification from Needlepoint Joint? And I love Crafty Gemini. I've watched
Vanessa's fantastic. Yes, that's Vanessa. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Siraj gets it. Good. New World Order. Yeah, Needlepoint Joint. So Vanessa, you just ordered over the weekend, I think. So that's they're shipping as quickly as they can. There have
That's
been
fantastic.
Amazingly a lot of orders. I've been getting bing notifications of orders that are coming in through my link. Thank you so much for shopping through my link. It helps me a little bit as well. So it's a little affiliate. So I appreciate that. Needlepoint Joint appreciates that. It's win-win for everyone. Earth Yarn appreciates it. Broco appreciates it. It's win-win all the way around. Yay. So, okay. So yes, Shirley, you can go back and watch the videos for help. Let me tell you this. If you have a specific question while we're all kind of looking over to the side, watching the chat scroll through, if you have a question, since there's lots of people on here, type the word question in caps and then type your question in lower cap, like don't yell at me the whole time, but type the word question so that we're aware that you're not just chatting with one another, that there's a question for us. Okay.
Yes.
So that and Lindsay and Jill are really good at helping me watch the scrolling of the chat. So, yay, Lynn got her wool today. Fantastic. So I have started Ravelry thread for people to post the pictures of what they're getting. That's fun. I want to see if you're knitting from stash. It's fine if you didn't order. Absolutely knit from your stash. Totally. If you didn't order from Needlepoint Joint and you supported your local yarn store, also awesome. But yeah, show me what you got. Post a picture, put it in the thread. Show us what you're knitting with. I'd love to see. So, Jill, did you decide? I'm putting you on the spot.
I did.
Are you kind of thinking about your projects and deciding if you're going to take the time to do this, or are you kind of unsure still?
Or did you order yarn?
I ordered yarn.
Yay! I wondered if you were still teeter-tottering or not.
Still teeter-tottering. I have not ever had two very large projects going on at once. I'm kind of,
You'll be fine.
I used to be like this little monogamous knitter,
Yeah, but you got over that.
So we'll see. I'm desperately trying to finish my fade before then. It's not going to happen.
And it's
What
okay.
did you order?
What?
The pretty stuff. I did. I ordered the pretty stuff. Did you order?
No.
She's thinking about it.
Thinking.
Yeah. Hey, Latasha Jones says, where do I see a picture of the knit along Cardi? It is the Campside Cardi.
I will get a link.
Lindsay is faster than me. She'll get you a link for the Ravelry. You can go look at all the projects on Ravelry. Just type in Campside Cardi. Now, if you're all kind of waffling along and you're not sure the pattern, keep in mind, thank you, Lindsay, the pattern is 25% off from now until May 20th using the code lowercase JANA 25. So lowercase Jana 25. So that's how you can get the pattern for 25% off. Now, a little tip that we found out, if you want to order, that discount will apply to all of her Campside pattern series. So there's a shawl, there's a children's sweater. Put it all in the cart all at once on Ravelry. Pay for it all at once because I think that you can only use the code one time per person. Do I have that right, you guys?
Yes. They have a beautiful wrap.
Yeah. What's that?
There's a beautiful wrap too.
Yes, the Campside wrap. So if you want to get more than one of her Campside patterns during this time and take advantage of that 25% discount all across them, do it all at once because you can only use the code one time per person. Is that clear? Yeah. Okay. So hopefully that helps. Michelle says, I'm knitting a shawl. I have split the same stitch 3 times now. Pray for me. I'm sorry. If you tank that back, go like this a little bit and mash that sucker back together and then knit through it. You know, mash it back together, dampen it a bit, maybe not with your spit.
Or with spit, if that's what you have on hand.
Or with spit, if you got to do it, sure. Anyway, so that's fantastic. So Jill, you ordered the Urth Yarns Monokrom DK.
Which color?
What color did you pick?
I did that light silvery, the light silvery gray. Shocker. Yeah.
It looks like my hair.
It was they had 2 grays. One was a deeper gray and one was a lighter gray.
That light gray.
Yeah.
I
You know, I was super tempted to go with the darker gray because I love it, because I love gray too. However, I've been having a lot of gray knitting on the channel, you know, with all these block of the month, you know, the Nora's vintage Afghan that we've been doing. It's all shades of gray. And so my husband's like, you could knit with another color. You could. And I'm like, maybe, but I like it. He goes, yeah, but that's a lot of gray. Okay. So he picked it for me.
And we'll get to see what it is today.
Yeah.
Oh, Squishy Meal's the best. I really like that purple too. There was a really tonal purple that I liked as well.
And I couldn't decide if it was a dark bluish. Will called it, that's my husband. He calls it an indigo. So it's like a bluey purple. And since he's the artist guy, like he picks these things. I don't pick the colors. He picks the colors. Okay, so Georgina says, is there any difference doing a twisted knit 2 together and a twisted slip knit? Yes. Yes. It is a slight difference. So if I'm understanding your question right, a twisted knit 2 together would be when you slip the 2 stitches at the same time.
Right. That's what I think.
You do it at the same time. You slip the stitches as if to knit 2 together you're doing them at the same time. And
right.
Yes, you can do that, but that would be like, okay, here's my stitches. They're both facing the same way. Well, I can't do that. And then I twist them together like this, right? But if I'm gonna have them, wait, I'm confusing myself. But here I have knitting, and if I'm going to go slip, it lays flatter if you twist them individually than knit them through the black, I think. If you twist them together, they don't lay as smooth. You can test it out. Get some bulky weight so that you can really see it and test it. But if you were doing the Master Hand Knitter program, they would tell you to do them individually because it's slip as if to knit, and then knit them together. And it's not the same. Anyway, Jess Babb says, is Needlepoint Joint offering a discount for the yarn? They are not. I do not have a coupon code for that currently. So nope, it is, the Barocco is certainly affordable, and the Urth Yarns is too, depending on what you want, because it is extra fine merino. So nope, the price is what it is on the website. Karen Murphy's here. Yay.
Hey, Karen.
Siraj is working from her stash. Fantastic. Okay. So again, if you have a question, please type the word question in all caps so we don't miss it. Okay. Should I open it?
Oh, yes.
Or should we answer another question real quick?
There's a question about knitting with darker yarn.
Oh, I missed it. Go ahead. Read it to me.
Yes. Vanessa asked, do you think working with a darker yarn will be more difficult, or does it not matter if you have really good lighting?
I have knitted more than one shawl out of all black yarn. I knitted a very complicated, well, it wasn't that complicated. It looks more complicated than it really is. A lace shawl out of black fingering for my mother. And I didn't have any trouble with it. But again, I had good lighting, and, you know, I wear progressives. So I knitted a shawl more recently that was also out of a dark blue, variegated bluish black. And it was also fingering yarn, but it was a more simple pattern, but then it had a cable border. It's called the Celtic Myth You can look that up on Ravelry. But again, I had good lighting and I didn't have any trouble with it. But a lot of people complain about knitting with black yarn. It doesn't really bother me. I think it's an individual preference, and yeah, if you have good lighting. So
Lindsay has nice lighting. She's addressed that.
yeah. I have an aught light that goes over my corner of the couch or my knitting chair in the living room. Right.
Yep.
Somebody wants to know, did you swatch with size 8 needles? If this is Judy Thompson, I answered your swatch question in the group. We don't have I got my yarn today, so I have not swatched yet. I will begin with size needles. To answer your question, I will start with the needle size that's recommended in the pattern, and then I'll go from there depending on how my gauge is. Yeah. So Vanessa gives me the smiley teeth face because she doesn't want to go too dark. Mary Lou says her yarn's on the way, just got notified. Yay. Oh, Saraj says, yes, open it in caps. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So I ordered the monochrome. I got this shipped straight from Urth Yarn because I called them and talked to them about what our knit along and what we were doing. And so mine got shipped a little sooner because I visited with them directly about this project. Anyway, so I ordered the Monokrom DK from Urth Yarns, URTH. Shirley says, are we using circular needles? Yes. And Lola, I'll get to your question in just a minute, but I can't stand it anymore. It's in plastic. Oh! Sorry for the plasticky noise.
It's yarn.
Oh, I hate noises. Oh my word. That's lovely.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's so pretty.
And it looks purpley on the screen, but it looks more bluish to me.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when we were talking about possibilities, it looked bluish on the screen. Oh, man.
Oh, that tonal.
Uh-huh. And so because it's very, very tonal, like Rebecca from Needlepoint Drawing, like she said in the group, I will take all of my skeins and undo them and hang them up, and then I'm going to lay them out on the table and decide. And I mean, I'm not just going to do it in the skein. I'm going to actually open them up and see, you know what I mean? Yeah. Michelle said, I just decided I need that yarn color in my life. Yes. Don't worry, I'll scroll back through and look at your questions after I'm done fondling and petting here. Not to worry.
Tell us how it feels.
It's very soft. It's extra fine merino. So extra fine, if you don't know what that means the micron count of the actual wool. So it's a measurement of the wool, the individual fiber width. So when I had sheep, so like if I took my own hair, boink, and looked at it, that would be very, very fine. I have very fine hair, so that would be a different number. It refers to the size of the actual wool. It does look a little like denim. It does, Karen. It does kind of look a little denim-ish, but it's almost like a purpley denim. Like it looks like indigo. Okay. So Georgina says, does it matter that I knit No, it doesn't matter whether you knit continental, Portuguese, or throwing, or English. Nope. Just make sure your tension is good. Your gauge is on track. You knit, you do you. Okay, scrolling back up because I think I missed. Did I miss? Did you guys watch? Am I missing?
I didn't watch. I was watching your yarn.
I know. So I ordered a lot of yarn because I wanted to have an extra skein, in case, for swatching, in case I run out. I am not a small person. I haven't quite decided for sure what size I'm going to knit. But like I said on the podcast with Rebecca, I want to have layering potential. It's cold and windy, and I live in the middle of nowhere prairie. So I want to knit it big enough where I can layer underneath, probably a mock turtleneck or whatever. By the way, Urth yarns, each skein of Urth yarns plants a tree in Africa. Planting trees not only prevents soil degradation, but provides fuel, marketable products, and fuel wood for families, increasing their income by 400%. Knit one, plant one. Hashtag knit one, plant one. So for every skein, they plant a tree.
How cool.
Hey.
So I really, yeah, I like Urth yarns. I like what they stand for as far as empowering women and in sole proprietorships in other countries, particularly Turkey and Africa, I believe. But you can read about that. Urth yarns, URTH yarns.com. And a shout out to Shauna at Urth Yarns for helping make this knit along possible.
Yay.
It is pretty.
That was fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Good
Couple
lighting
people
is
said-
key. Go ahead, Jill. What now?
I was just going to say a couple people said that made the decision for them. The unboxing did.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I see that. Okay. Yes. Michelle, I'm a student. My bank account is screaming for a break, but this yarn is too gorgeous. And if you're a smaller person than me, you could get by with fewer skeins. So that might help. Right? Oh, okay. You're going to get the dark gray or the light gray? Or you're not sure yet? Jill?
Me, I am getting the light gray. I am choosing that light gray. I'm hoping it's not too white. I don't think so, because I'll probably wear it with a white t-shirt underneath. But I was afraid, I thought I would wear that more than the dark.
Well, I thought that too, but the lighter gray is too much like my hair. It is exactly like this tonal. And I'm like, I'd be all monochrome if I did that. It is called Monokrom DK, but yeah, I would be. The dark gray, I was tempted, but then Will's like, yeah, but you always use dark gray for everything. I'm like, I know. But now I'm happy. I'm happy I picked that.
Yay.
Okay. So Rebecca says, question, what are the best rips
Tips.
to choose colors? Tips. Oh, tips. Michelle says, I'm 6'1", small chance it's going to be small. Well, then order it all. You'll love it. This is an heirloom quality sweater. Okay, best tips to use colors. I am not a color theory person. I don't know. I'd have to ask my sister because she's better at these things. You know, I probably choose stuff that makes me look ghostly or washed out. This is bad lighting anyway. I don't know. You guys are better at color. You mean colors for yarns to go together or color for your own complexion and hair and stuff? I don't know. I go with what you like. I am not a fashion person. Clearly, I'm wearing a hoodie and a t-shirt. Do I look like a fashion person? Ask Lindsay and Jill. I don't know.
I just always choose gray.
Oh, that
Choose
is
what you wear.
okay. This one, whoever just asked that, this is the color number on their website is 6056. This is 6056 is the indigo one that I just got. And I'll have to look and make sure all the dye lots match, but I'm sure that the gal I spoke with would make sure that that happened. But I will also show, I'm going to do a video about my preparation, how I'm going to get set up for this, how I'm going to lay out my skeins and decides which ones to alternate. Because if you haven't watched the previous video about when we announced the knit along and I talked with Rebecca at Needlepoint Joint, we were talking about how to alternate skeins and why one would want to do that. And I will definitely want to do that here because there is such a variation between like that lighter color and like this really, really darker color. I'm gonna, I don't want big splotches or pooling, right? I don't want it to look like a Rorschach ink blot test, right? You know what I mean by that. I don't want it to do that. So I will be alternating skeins to have the even out. Okay. Oh, Lola, I knew I missed your question earlier, and thank you for reposting that. I'm starting the gusset section of my stock, increasing every other row. Okay. My ankle is very slender. Do I have to increase every other row? So what kind of heel are you doing? Lola, type in there and tell me what kind of heel you're doing. Thank you, Lindsay.
Yep.
Karen, I am doing the Urth yarns.
She just decided.
I went digging. I went digging to find like birthday money that had been stashed away and Christmas money that had been stashed away. I had an envelope and went back to that. And Jana had talked about it being an investment, and I'll have it forever. And this way I'll definitely do 2 projects at once because I won't let it sit. And if you know me, I do a fair amount of tinking. And so I need something that'll hold up to that.
The link that I put in there, if you're unsure and you want to just surf around, go click over to needlepointdread.com. That's my Purl Together link. It's an affiliate link. I mean, just straight up, I don't make any bones about that because all the content that I provide on YouTube is free. So occasionally I will post an affiliate link, and that gives me a little bit of a kickback, a small percentage of the sales. It costs you nothing extra. But yeah, that's how we keep stuff coming to you all the time. But anyway, you click on the link I put in the chat and then go up to the top, or if you're on a mobile device, there should be a menu that shows knitting. Then from there, choose knitting kits. And then you'll see they've clearly labeled it Campside Cardi kits. And you'll have a Barocco kit and the Urth Yarns kit. And then you just need to determine based on your measurement, how many skeins you need for your size. And if you're unsure about how to measure yourself, go watch the previous video on the channel where Rebecca and she actually demonstrated how you'd measure and why we talked a lot about why you might decide on one going a little bigger than you might want to or not. So there you go. All right. Did I miss anyone else's? Oh, so Lola, you're not sure yet. Maybe Fish Lips Kiss. Okay. If you're not sure what heel you're doing, I can't really answer that question about the gusset yet because it depends on what heel you're doing. I could definitely tell you the math all about it for heel flap and gusset. Fish Lips Kiss, I am not as familiar with. I don't do a lot of short row heels, or my personal favorite is the heel flap and gusset, and I explain why. I did a whole series. It was like 7 or 8 videos over the course of 2 weeks recently, and on the playlist on the channel, it's called the Step by Step, and you can knit that cuff down. If you want to knit toe up, there's another playlist called the Customizable Toe Up Sock. So either of those, you can go with me step by step by step, and I explain how to do it all. But I can't answer that question about every other row until you determine what heel you're going to do for sure. So if you're not in join the Facebook group, and then once you make that, you can always post a question in there in the Purl Together Facebook group. Okay. Yes, Lisa, I did. Look. I'm showing this for Lisa because she just arrived. Isn't it lovely? Oh, I feel like on a video game when you find the treasure chest and then your little hero goes la 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 la, and you get the prize out of the treasure chest. Lindsay knows what I mean. You're muted, Lindsay.
Yes, I was worried that you might have been able to hear some crying in the background.
Oh, baby, wake up.
Yes.
That's okay. It's real life. My
Yeah,
dog
I know,
will bark. I know. My dog will probably bark when the kids come back in from their walk, but it's the way it is. I know, Lisa, it's gorgeous. I'm going to swatch right away. I'm going to start videoing my preparation. So that's what I was saying. You guys can watch for videos before the cast on date. I'm going to show a couple of videos of what I'm going to do here and how I'm going to wind it. And I know I'm a happy person. It does not take much to entertain me, truly.
Yarn.
Oh, Georgina's thinking she'll go for the light gray.
It's so pretty.
Lisa says, don't cry, Lindsay. She thought you meant crying, like not a baby.
Oh no, I'm not crying.
No, she's just being funny.
Oh,
You're missing the funny.
sorry.
Okay. Now I'll show you. Now let's all show our shawls.
I saw a peek of Lindsay's and it looks so pretty.
Oh, I want to see your new color. If you're not sure what we're doing, this is on a whim. The 3 of us decided together. We were just
Okay, I can't show mine until I get to the end of my row. Just
Okay.
FYI.
Okay.
on
Sorry to cut you off.
impulse with, okay, it's Jill's fault.
Yes.
Yes, Shirley, there's a swatching video. Go to the channel. If you're on a desktop computer, go to youtube.com/Pearl Together. Obviously, you're here if you're watching this. There's a little magnifying glass search icon just below the videos. Click that, type in swatch, and you should find it. Yes, there's a swatching video. There will be a specific swatching video for this cardigan, however, but I just got my yarn. You saw I just got it, so it'll be there.
Yay.
Yay. So it's Jill's fault. We were hanging out one night, having our own personal knit night, and Jill's knitting. We're like, what are you working on? And she says,
I finally started my fade.
and I'm like, oh, I want to do that. And then Lindsay's like, I want to do that. So we all started doing it. So we're having our own little mini knit along.
And in which time I think I'm still the one that has to play catch up, and Jana has ripped out her entire shawl twice and is still further ahead than I am. Yeah, it's because I spent an entire row on an entire week on 6 rows of lace. So
well, and you're working full time still, and you've had a lot going on. You've had a ton. Oh, Beth, you know our friend Beth who was at the retreat.
yeah,
Everything is Jill's fault.
Lola, yeah, do okay. Worried after 3 increased rows, my sock is starting to gap around my foot. Oh, well, okay. I'm a little confused because you're not sure what heel you're doing, but you've started increase. How did you decide when to start increasing if you're not sure what heel method you're doing? I'm so confused. Squirrel, I know. Sorry, Lisa. Yeah, Lola, because I'm a squirrel, go ask in the Facebook group and we'll have a chat. We'll have a chat over there, and we'll help all of us. There are lots of experienced Fish Lips Kiss and Fleagle and short row people over there that know more about those particular heels than I do. But if you want to do a heel flap and gusset, I'm your gal. Anyway, Jill.
Oh, just Babs just ordered the same yarn.
it's so pretty. It's so pretty.
So pretty.
So we all decided to knit this, and I had issues. I did. They were my own fault. They were my own fault. Too much Netflix, not enough paying attention on the lace, and I'm like, crap, and I ripped it out. And yeah, this is my 3rd attempt, and I'm going well. It's going well. It's going very well. Let's show us yours.
Are you at the end of your row?
No, I'm not at the end of my row yet. 233 stitches? No. I had basically just started my row.
When I started yammering on
When
about
she was like, show us your fade. I'm like,
Well,
I'm gonna
right
leave
now I
my-
have 235 stitches. So
Well,
yeah, no, not supposed
but
to.
you
have
know
that.
why.
233. But I know exactly what I did, so I only need to back up a row and a half. I missed the decrease on the spine because I was playing Trivial Pursuit with my family.
And so yeah. Oh, you know we love gray. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh my word.
Yeah.
Oh, Jill, I love that.
I am so happy with how it is turning out.
I can't see. Oh, it's lovely.
Technically, I have 2 more rows before the lace section, but I'll go backwards 2 rows and fix that. So I have 4 more rows to my lace section.
Michelle says, what do you mean it's your own fault? I thought everything was Jill's fault. My mistakes are not her fault. I mean, I could say it was, but no, I wasn't even talking to her when I messed up several times.
Well, I was thinking the needle thing may have been my fault because we did talk an awful lot about the shawl, so through computer osmosis.
I know, but your shawl is amazing. And tell everybody, do you recall what yarn that was? Because some people that are here were not here before.
The 2 first colors are Azula fibers.
That's lovely.
Oh my gosh, and I'm really, really glad this was my first lesson in investing in quality yarn because I knit that lace so many times that the yarn held up. And then so far, all the teals, the teals and the speckle And
Yeah.
then this deeper blue are all La Jolla.
Right. You know, and people talk about being yarn snobs. Rosalia, it's not this. No, that's not the Inara Rap was the one we did for the knit along. I think this is the Find Your Fade by, why am I blinking?
Andrea Mowry.
Andrea Mowry, correct.
Yep. And we've also talked about the fact I'm going to have a ton of yarn left. So I'm very excited about that. And that was the first time I heard the conversations around it's an investment.
Right. Judy, let me get the link for you.
I already did.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wait, not for the group. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, she can.
Yes, for the
Yeah.
group. I copy and pasted that one and then didn't post
Okay,
it.
it's okay. And you'll need to wait till one of the moderators, we screen because of Facebook troll people, weird accounts, fakey things. We screen people who come in. So you'll have to wait till somebody clicks your, clicks your approval for your request. But Rosalia, yes, that's the cozy winter shawl from the knit along. Yes.
Yep. That's what
And
this
it's
is. Yep. We'll
turn
go
all
on.
the way around.
Yep.
Fashion spin.
So,
Yes.
So pretty.
Lovely.
I
That's
was
the
gonna
cozy.
say, I'm glad I'm wearing pants because it would sound wrong.
Hilarious.
That's the
I have actual real pants on today instead of leggings. I'm like so proud.
I thought you meant pants as opposed to just no pants.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Gail. I squirreled. I'm like, woo! I got all excited about the yarn. Okay. I was saying I would lay out all the skeins. The reason I will open them up and I'll lay them out because it's so tonal. I will lay out all 6 of them or however many I have in the bag. I forget. I'll lay them all out and then I'll decide. I've got light, dark, or light, dark, or however I want to do it so that I'm alternating those skeins to prevent that pooling. Okay. So then I'll decide and I'll probably either write on the tag or I'll get the little string tags or I'll label them somehow that I want to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, or I'm going to have these 2 paired together. So I have 1 and 1 and 2 and 2, 3 and 3, or however I'm going to do it. But that's why I will lay them out and decide, and then I'll wind them. Because once you wind it, then, it looks like this. And it doesn't look quite that way when you knit it. So I hope that answers your question, but I'll do a video about my process. So there, sorry, hopefully I finished my thought and didn't interrupt myself 13 times. Okay. So the 3 of us just decided to knit the Find Your Fade shawl because I've had that pattern in my queue for a couple of years. And I finally realized I had the yarn to do it from various acquisitions over the years. Right.
I'm almost to the end of my row.
You
10
are
stitches left.
That is 233. Those are some long rows.
Yeah.
I know.
It's an investment. So that's what we talked about is like I made some mistakes in the lace section and I frogged it. I ripped it out a couple times. I tinked it back several times. When you get to the end of a row and go, because it tells you like how many stitches you should have left. You should have 2 left or 3 left or whatever before the marker on rows 1, 3, and 5 of this 8 row repeat. So then I'd go, and I'd make a mistake just because I wasn't paying attention on how many yarn overs and stuff. Oh, show us, Lindsay.
Okay, this is where I'm at right now.
Oh my gosh.
So I've started adding in this pink.
Is that the Jocelyn?
That is the Jocelyn.
And that's the brand of the yarn?
No, that's the color name. It is Dream in Color BFL.
Okay.
And
Nice.
it is like, it's called Jocelyn. It's like a tonally hot pink, thanks to Jill. But it matches so well. Like you can kind of see where the pink rows are, but it's
It just
literally
blends
the
Yeah.
same pink.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it starts with this gray.
It's lovely.
And this was Malabrigo sock pearl. And then it goes into this speckle, which is Happy Feet Splash Tuscan Spice. And then it goes into this tealy, bluey, greeny color, which is Malabrigo sock Aguas.
Nice. You're doing
impressive.
And then it goes into this rainbowy. And that is Dream in Color Smooshy. Starts with a C. Can't think of it. And then we've gone into Jocelyn.
Oh.
So you will have 7 colors. You guys both had 7, right?
Yes.
Which the pattern's written for 7 colors. Well, and that was one reason that I had to rip back. One of the times I ripped back is because I don't have 7 colors. I have a total of 4. And I realized that if I switched, the first time I was changing colors, that I wasn't going to have enough if I changed that soon. So I had to keep knitting, right? The difference between tinking and ripping. Tinking, this is my opinion, tinking is knitting backwards. It's unknitting. So it's stitch by stitch when your needles are, your work is still on your needles and you're undoing each stitch one at a time going backwards. Ripping is when you take the needles out and go, right? There you go. And I have a video about that too. There's a video that's frogging or tinking, frogging, and righteous ripping. And you get to watch me rip out 1,200 yards of a shawl that I messed up. It's kind of like a car accident you can't look away from.
I was going to say, kind of like gave me hives when you attach your Swift to it. That's when you know.
I started pulling and my my mom was pulling and I was winding. Yeah. Okay, so somebody else was asking about a Swift. A Swift is the umbrella thing that you put the skein on that spins, and then a winder. Stanwood is a very good, reputable company if you want to order. They're not inexpensive, but I have a Royal. It's a plastic ball winder, but it's good quality, and I've had it for probably 15 years. I think my mom has a Stanwood Swift, and it depends whether you want like an umbrella Swift that, you know, expands like an umbrella does, or whether you want a tabletop Swift. That's what I have, which I eventually one day I'd love to have an umbrella Swift. Right. What's the name of Jill's yarns for the Find Your Fade shawl? Yeah, she mentioned that earlier.
Yep, and I found the names. So the first 2 are Azula. One is Mini Elephant and one is Hippo. And then the La Jolla, so far I've done the Blue Moon and Slate. So that's what I've done so far.
Jean, I never know if it's Jean or Jeannie, so my apologies if I have that wrong. There is a wrap tutorial that we did about a little over a year ago called the Inara Rap, and it was a rectangle. It was a long rectangular wrap, and those tutorials, that playlist is on the channel as well. It's INARA is the Inara Rap, and that was one of the first ones we did.
And Alicia Plummer has a Campside wrap, and it's a rectangle.
Yeah.
And it has the same like yarn over segments in it. So
the eyelet.
Yeah.
Michelle, you're kind of right. Ripping is a sign of sheer despair. Well, or
Not always.
And the reason I will argue with that, tinking is a sign of an annoyed knitter. Yes, that's true. Ripping is a sign of sheer despair. And the only reason I would say not always is because when we did the Frog It or Finish It challenge, I found some stuff that I was like happy to rip it out because I was over it. And I just wanted to reclaim the yarn. And then I felt really like I was liberated. And I felt like I had a gift of yarn that I didn't have before. And I was able to let go of that other project I didn't really like. So, but I understand. On the flip side, I will agree with you because I was kind of upset when I started ripping. Because I knew I just had to get back to the mistake I'd made, you know, on this current shawl project. So,
well, and I feel like sometimes, like when I had to rip back a section, I was just happier to rip it back than tink it back.
oh,
Like
right.
I would just rather rip it back and put my stitches back on my needle.
Yeah. and get it over
and
with.
think back 9 rows of lace.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I don't
my,
even care. So I'm like,
it depends.
yeah,
It depends about your attitude. We like knitting. So it's okay to knit it over again. You like to knit.
exactly.
But that's the other point of using good quality yarn that will withstand tinking and ripping and, yeah, it'll withstand it. So if you're using some, I won't say all of them because I don't want to generalize quite that much, but some of the big box yarns that you can find at department stores, they may or may not withstand that much learning, that much of a learning curve. And I have a steep learning curve. I do things over and over all the time. So I only used 4 colors, which is why I had to decide where I was going to do my color melting or shifting or blending in different places than what the pattern recommends. So I was able, because Jill gave me a good tip, go on the projects, do an advanced Ravelry search on the projects of any given pattern. You can click advanced search and it narrows it down. And then I could say 4 colors. And I was able to look at other people's projects that had used 4 colors and read their notes. So that was super helpful. So mine is more, I kind of started off with this like pinky speckly, which really you wouldn't think was me, but this is Dream in Color Smoosh, or no, this is Sweet Georgia Tough Love Sock in the beginning. And then we move into this section, the more, that has more brown and tan, but also some pink. And that's Dream in Color Smooshy. And I don't know the color name. The Georgia Tough Love, it didn't have a name, it was a color number, so probably wouldn't help you anyway. Then I have just morphed into this more tan and brown right here, you can tell. I've just started that. And that is Greenwood Fibers. It's an independent hand-dyed company in Utah. I picked it up when I was at Needlepoint Joint last fall or summer, one of the times I was there, and it actually has some sparkles. Can you see the glitter? No?
Pretty.
And then my last color will be this. Yeah, there you go. Fun.
Very
Oh,
fun.
hopefully the Broco is good quality. And what I'll say is we're going to go slow and be super careful so that we minimize the tinking and ripping. So we just want to, we'll go slow and be careful and we'll follow along. Now, if you have a specific pattern question in the group, if you're in the Facebook group, read the rules because you're welcome to retype a line or 2 of the pattern. Do not post a screenshot of the pattern because it is a paid for pattern. We don't want to violate copyright law. Your screenshots will be deleted. We don't allow that. So read the rules about asking questions about patterns. You're welcome to retype a line that's confusing to you. That's fine. But don't do screenshots of the pattern. So, okay, Rosalia says, I have quite a bit of stash of sock yarn, hoping to combine a few for the knit along. So what I think about, if you hold, Rosalia, are you saying I'll take sock yarn and hold it double and want it to be DK? Is that what you're thinking? If so, I would suggest doing a healthy swatch to see if you'll get the stitches per inch that you want for that. And because when we say fingering, it could be 3-ply light fingering. A fingerling is a fish, but it could be a lighter weight. And then holding that together if you held 2 together, it may be more like a worsted or an Aran rather than a DK. So you're going to have to just swatch and see what you think. Michelle says, I love knitting. I can't stand the mortal fear of having nothing to stop my stitches from laddering 10 rows down. And there's always one that does. Yeah. Remember that video where I miscrossed a cable and then on purpose I dropped down like 30 rows and then crossed the cable again and crossed the cable again and worked it all back up? You know what? It's just knitting. It won't cry if you do that. It doesn't get injured. So we do surgery on it and it's fine.
It won't spontaneously unravel at the end of the row.
Will not. Yes. Yes. I don't know about, I haven't tried the Knit Picks ball winder. You might see if Knit Picks has that on Amazon and read reviews on that. Like read Amazon reviews. I know that Knit Picks has an Amazon store. So go check out the ball winder on that. I don't know if it's, you normally get what you pay for, but there are some exceptions. I would just read the reviews. I don't know one way or another about that. Do you guys know anything about the ball winder from Knit Picks?
I can give an opinion.
Okay, yeah.
I've had the Knit Picks ball winder for 3 or 4 years, and I have never been happy with how it winds my yarn.
And someone else is saying they have 2 broken ones and they finally bought Stanwood.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my next one will be a more expensive one because this one just, I could show you my yarn that I'm knitting from right now and how I don't like that it winded it because it looks like it would, the inside would pop out of the outside. Jill has had that. So I agree with Jana. I would go read reviews. If you want to know my review, I would say maybe look for a nicer one.
If you're like me and you buy a lot of yarn,
That
you're going
needs
to use
wound.
it. And when I get going, I'm like, wide. So yeah.
Right.
I think you get what you pay for. But
Yeah, I agree.
Val says, yes, a fingerling is a potato. Lisa said that too. It's true.
They're
Maybe
really
that's what I
good
meant.
potatoes,
What am I
too.
thinking of fish? It's a potato. Well, and a fish.
Is it a fish?
Why did I think it's a fish?
I'm going to Google it.
Like a minnow.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Now I really want fingerling potatoes.
And fish.
Have them, put a little olive oil on them, roast them, a little bit of kosher salt.
There is a fish.
See? Okay, Lisa says, I purchased DK for a sweater for my grandson and then found that for his size, I need to have the version of the pattern that calls for worsted. Will that work if
It's
I
not a
swatch
fit.
and do math? Okay. Let me answer Siraj's question real quick and then Lisa, because I'm going to give you the long version in a second. But Siraj, the quick answer to your question, what's the difference between fingering and sock yarn? There is a difference. Sock yarn is fingering, but not all fingering is sock yarn. Okay. So sock yarn, in my opinion, is sock yarn that's blended with some nylon. It's blended with something else for durability. That's, in my opinion, sock yarn. There's lots of fingering. Oh, let me show you some that doesn't have any nylon in it. And I would not knit socks with it because that's not what it's for. It won't be as durable. But look, more squishy mail this week.
So pretty.
It's so, those colors.
Yes. Okay, this is
Super
brown
great.
sheep. This is brown sheep nature spun. Am I upside down here? Okay. This is brown sheep nature spun. It is 100% US grown wool. It does not have any nylon. It is feltable. This is fingering weight. So that refers to the wraps per inch. So if I took this and wrapped it around a ruler, I would get a X number of wraps per inch. And that's the category for this weight. It can be single ply, 2 ply, 3 ply, 4 ply, whatever, but that's how many wraps per inch is. That tells you what the diameter of the yarn is, or the gauge of the yarn, not to be confused with your knitting gauge. So this is nature spun. I will use it for either I haven't decided yet. I'm either going to use this for a shawl. This was sent to me to do a review, so you can watch for that on the channel. And Brown Sheep is a local company to me. They're only like an hour and a half from me. And I love the owners. They're so sweet. I mean, I've met them and visited with them many times when I've been over there, because they have a factory store and they're lovely people. I digress. A fingerling fish is a baby and about the size of an adult human finger. Yes,
Right,
that's
it's a
true.
baby fish.
Anyway, this yarn is not stock yarn. It will felt if it's washed. And I might use it for color work for a Fair Isle, like a fisherman's cap, or I might knit a shawl. I don't know yet. I'll have to decide before my review is due. Right. So Lisa, let me get back to your question. DK is a wrap or 2 per inch smaller in diameter than worsted. If you get gauge using DK with a pattern that calls for worsted or vice versa, if you get gauge, it's going to depend on whether you like the resulting fabric. So when we knit a shawl, like I'm using fingering, weight on this, and this is it's very loose and airy, and you can see through it. You can see air through the stitches, right? Because I'm using fingering weight yarn in a size 4. Let's be sure that it's a size 4. And I'm saying that because I screwed up and knit it on the wrong size needle the first time. But I'm using this on a size 4, so it makes a pretty drapey, airy fabric. Would I ever knit a sock using size 4? Absolutely not. I knit my socks using a US 1, which is a 2.25 millimeter. Same yarn, but it makes the resulting fabric is much more dense and durable. So my point here is that if you have DK and you get the same gauge as for this knit along, which would be 4.5 stitches per inch, it's going to be a more airy fabric than if you use worsted at a needle that gives you the same 4.5 per inch. Does that make sense? Now let's say you want a different resulting fabric and you're going to use DK and you're going to end up with 6 stitches per inch instead of 4.5, but you like that for the sweater. Now I have not done this, so I'm going to preface what I'm going to say next by saying this is in theory. I personally have not done it. Okay, that's my disclaimer. We need like a warning sign. Disclaimer. Let's say I have 6 stitches per inch on DK and I want to knit the same pattern that you're going to do where worsted that calls for 4 stitches per inch or 4.5 stitches per inch or whatever. So if I have 6 stitches per inch and you have 4, right? That's 50% more, right? Everybody with me? Nod your head.
Yes.
Okay. So if I do 50% more, then I'm going to have to size up accordingly so that I'm going to knit that many more stitches. So I need to find a size that's going to be a cast on number of 50% more stitches than I would have if I was knitting with the yarn it called for. Because I have more stitches per inch, so I want the resulting fabric to be the same, 20 inches across the back of the sweater or whatever it is. I'm just talking off the top of my head here. But if it's 20 inches across the back of the sweater, and if I'm knitting 4 stitches per inch in worsted, that's 80 stitches, right? But if I'm knitting 6 stitches per inch for that same 20 inches, then that's 120 stitches for that same 20 inches.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Right. Okay, everyone's with me. So yes, you can do it. You can do it, but I would swatch the dickens out of it before I committed to a sweater. Okay, sorry if that was long. Joanna, the pattern for the shawl is Find Your Fade by Andrea Mowry. You can find it on Ravelry. Okay. Did I miss something? Oh, in Europe, we measure yarn in another way, length per grams. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. So you're measuring length, whatever that is, per weight. But when we were talking about wraps per inch, we're talking about the thickness of the yarn, not the length. Not the length related to weight. Lisa's nodding. Okay. And Vanessa says, I love my Stanwood Swift. Excellent quality, worth every penny. All right. So at least I hope that helped, or you're just more confused than you were. Send me a message if you need to. Okay. That was a lot.
Show your yarn again.
What?
For people that you should show your yarn again. People just
if you just joined us, I got my yarn in the mail today and I ripped it open. Shouldn't say ripped. This is the Monokrom DK, brand new yarn. Just came out on the last week to 10 days. So Rebecca at Needlepoint Joint did not even have it in the shop yet, which is why it's so fantastic that Urth Yarns is willing to drop ship if you order through my link, which we will copy and paste and put again. I'll do it.
Oh, you're going to get it?
Yeah, I had it already on my clipboard.
Oh, perfect.
Because it was the last thing I copied and pasted. So anyway, this is colorway 6056. Yes, 6056 is that indigo kind of purpley.
So pretty.
Love it. And it's softer than I had hoped, honestly, but it said extra fine merino. I would expect it to be soft, but it's softer than I had hoped. I am very pleased. I am very pleased with, yes.
That'll be very
And it
drinky.
appears to be, because it's hard to tell on the website, it is 4-ply. But it looks to me like this is what Rebecca was saying. Fill us order. Eleanor wants to know what type of name of the shawl, blah, blah. Lindsay, you could type that since we've said it like 4 times now. But if you're just joining us, that's fine. So what the deal is this appears to be a 4-ply. So they've taken the individual strands and 2-plied them, and then they'll take 4 of those and ply them. So it's lovely. And because of all the plies, it should be able to withstand the occasional tink. They might ship to the DK or to the UK. You'll have to check on needlepoint. You'll have to check at Needlepoint Joint. They do have some international shipping. You can either send Rebecca an email and I'll type that in the chat, or Lindsay can, somebody can. You want to type, Lindsay?
Sure.
If you're curious about international shipping, you can email knitting@needlepointjoint.com. Okay. Yay, Phyllis. You know, Michelle, I thought about that for my elderly. She wants to know if there's any way to make socks slip proof. You can buy this stuff like, I have, again, here we go again with I haven't done it, but this is all theoretical. Do you know how to do this, Lindsay?
No, but I was gonna Jill once made slippers that she put nonstick stuff on. So I was gonna tell you that she could tell us about that.
Slippers or socks?
Well, these were slippers, but I assumed this stuff would work for socks.
Sure. Go ahead, Jill.
The felted clogs, your tutorial on the felted clogs, which everybody knows that actually I have them down here. So that I absolutely love. And I was making them for my father-in-law. And so I read a ton in the Ravelry group, and I'll have to look at my notes. It was a spray-on adhesive that I ended up using.
Oh.
Yep. And I just sprayed it multiple layers of it on, and it gave it a tacky bit of adherence.
So that's different than what I was thinking of this rubbery stuff that you can get that, like, you use it, like, let's say you had a pair of pliers, or you had a pair of pliers. I can't think of anything else I would use it for. But if you have some kind of a tool, they sell this stuff in a can where you can dip, and it's like liquidy rubber stuff, and you would put it on like a pair of pliers or a hammer handle maybe. And I don't know if you could like paint that on the bottom of your sock or not. I don't know. Go to the hardware store, see what you think. Again, if I was going to do that, I would knit a swatch and then I would paint it on and try it before I actually like painted it on a whole entire sock. So, right. Oh, Val, that's the Cozy Winter. I'm sure you knew that.
Thanks, Val. I love it.
Fantastic. It's
my
beautiful.
first adventure in cables.
It was.
But the videos helped tremendously.
Jiffy grip. Okay. Is that kind of what that's kind of what I'm talking about. Jiffy grip. That again, theoretical. Hot glue. Would hot glue work? Oh, maybe you could do a glue gun and just do dots. You know, yeah. Maybe you could do.
Sorry. People talked about hot glue gun. They talked about puffy paint.
Fabric paint. Sure.
About those pieces being used. I didn't want something like bumpy just on certain spots on my foot, which is why I'm going with the tacky spray.
Okay. And then Kim is saying sock stop fabric paint. Okay.
Awesome.
Try it. Let us know. Cool. All right. I think that about, unless you guys have something else you want to share, I think that about wraps up our unboxing.
Yay.
So
Yay.
So again, I'm gonna do a shameless plug and put in my affiliate link again for Needlepoint Joint. If you decide you want to go there, no pressure. If you want to support your local yarn store, absolutely support your local yarn store. They need you too. Definitely. So, but if you don't have a local yarn store, or if they're not doing deliveries or curbside or whatever, and you need a local yarn store, go check out Needlepoint Joint. Go to knitting kits, Campside Cardi kits, wide range of prices, and this is mine.
So pretty.
I'll be swatching. So watch for videos on the channel. Proper cast on, actual official cast on is May 19th. But I'm going to upload some videos about how I'm going to do my process, how I'm going to decide the order in which I'm going to stagger my skeins or blend my skeins. Yeah, there you go. How I'm going to swatch. Swatching is important. Okay. So join us for all of that.
Yay.
Oh, and guess what else? I'm going to have a podcast interview with Alicia, the designer. Watch for that later this week.
Yay.
She's delightful. We chatted the other day. She's very delightful. So
I can't
we'll
wait.
have an actual interview because she's going to tell us about why is it called the Campside?
I'm excited.
So
I am too. Very much so.
okay, you guys go join the group. Check it out. I hope you decide to join us for the knit along. Oh, that's the other thing. If you are a person that makes stitch markers or project bags, or if you're a hand dyer and you have an Etsy shop of anything knitting related, shoot me a Ravelry message. I check Ravelry message. I do not check Facebook messages that are to me personally. If you message my business page on Facebook, I will get it. Or send me an email at bossknitter@purltogether.com. Anyway, the whole point is if you have something knitting related and you want to promote your Etsy shop and you want to offer a little prize for our knit along giveaway prizes and you want to be featured, shoot me a message. Okay. I'd love to have your prizes for our knit along. All right. Take care.
Yay.
Show us what you're knitting. Show us the yarn you picked in the Facebook and the Ravelry group. See you over there.